Hey, what's up Facebook? Bit of a late one tonight, so I'll get straight into it. So last night I went out for a couple of drinks in Doncaster just to see what the crack was. When I say drinks, I think I had one for the whole night. And I saw a homeless guy that was sat outside of a sort of like a food place. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be some kind of Samaritan, because I wasn't. You know, I just wanted to gauge what it was like for people that live on the streets and that don't have any, you know, opportunities, what they believe in their lives. So I decided to go over to this homeless guy and you know, sit down and have a chat with him. And I said to him, so why are you on the streets then? And he said to me, oh, I'm just trying to, you know, gather some change so that I can, you know, find a place for the night and things like this. And I said, no, but seriously, why is it that you're on the streets? Like, why, you know, can you not find a cheap, quick job, you know, that you can sort of, you know, get yourself by, get yourself off the streets? Like, surely you don't want to be here. And he was saying, you know, like, no, I don't want to be here and things like this. But it's like, I'm going to different places here and there, and you know, he was saying, like, I go to the same people every day looking for jobs and looking for a house and things like this. And it made me think, like, we all know that people who are homeless can get jobs. It's just logic, right? You know, it's not difficult to get up off your arse and go out and get a job. So I said to him, I was like, do you drink? He said no. Debatable. I said, do you do drugs? He said no. Again, debatable. Well, I said to him, I was like, if you could change your life and get yourself off the streets, because let's face it, you know, people are walking by, they're judging you, thinking you're scum and all this, and I'm not saying that to be rude, but it's just natural, you know what I mean? People are going to be thinking that. I said, surely you don't want to, you know, live with that stigma, that idea around your life. Surely you believe you're worth more than that. And well, he was agreeing with me, but I could see that his heart wasn't there and he didn't have the mindset there. And I said to him, do you know what? And I didn't want to seem, you know, like I said, I didn't want to seem like some kind of Jesus or something trying to change his life, because at the end of the day, it's down to people what they do, whether they want to change their lives or not. And I gave him a business card that I've got, and I said to him, do you know what? If you genuinely are fed up with being on the streets and you're genuinely sick of people walking by and asking people for change and all this other shit that you're doing with your life, maybe if you have the ability to, you know, get phone, technology, laptop, whatever, to contact me on one of those things, maybe give it a try and see what happens in your life. Because, you know, I meet people on a daily basis that, you know, can help people who are you know, deal with addiction and things like that. I met a lovely lady the other day. She uses sort of like hypnotherapy and uses positive reinforcement to allow people to break the chains of you know, addiction with drugs, alcohol, biting your nails, anything. And that's what she was doing. And I said to him, I was like, if you take the moment to actually drop that a message, it could change your life forever. As of yet, I haven't heard anything, obviously, and again, I'm not trying to big myself up, but at the end of the day, I wanted to gather why people are on the streets. Why are people putting themselves in a situation where they have to live in a cold, wet, shitty life, you know? And because I know full well that if I lost everything and, you know, got homeless and all this, I'd go buy a bucket and a fucking sponge for £3.50 and I'd go around people's houses saying, can I wash your cars for you? Because at the end of the day, there is always a fucking way to do something. And it just astounds me that so many people live with such a lack of faith in life and in themselves that they do absolutely nothing to get themselves out of the situation they're in. I mean, everybody who's joined tonight and who's watching now currently, you know full well how awful it would be to have to live on the streets. I mean, how degrading would that feel? You know, how bad would you feel? How much would you just want to get out of that situation? And yet, this bloke who I spoke to yesterday seemed to just not want to do any of that. And it's just a really surprising thing for me. I just couldn't understand it. I couldn't get to grips, you know. And I said to him, I was like, you know, I don't want to look like I'm being I'm looking down upon you. And I said, I'm sat here right now talking to you, and I was completely sober as well. I was only, you know, I only went out just to check the place out, and I just sat there and I said to him, I was like, you know, you have the ability to change your life forever, and if you don't choose to do that, you're just going to live in this loop for the rest of your life. And I said to him, I was like, do as you please with that card, but, you know, maybe it's your chance. But it's like I say, I mean, I guess you know, I should probably find a different metaphor for this because I use it a lot, but, you know, the whole thing that you can only take a horse to water, you can't make it drink and that kind of thing, which is true, you know, it is true. But, you know, it's just something to think about. You know, a lot of people, you know, do that thing where they buy homeless people food and all of this, and that's all well and good, but unless you get to the root as to why somebody is on the fucking streets in the first place, then, you know, what's the crack with it? You know, they're just going to be doing the same things like drugs and alcohol and all this other crap and probably heroin and stuff like that. They're just going to be doing the same stuff unless you get to a point where you can say to them, you know, this is wrong. You shouldn't be here. You know, no matter what they've done or who they are. But, you know, I don't know. It's just, I guess that's something to think of for the night. Maybe I'll, at one point in the future, try and tackle something like that. You know, what is the best way of showing people and finding people a way to get out of that rut and all that other crap that people seem to be in, you know? Because it's like, I don't know, it was a really interesting thing for me, and I decided, because I was going to walk past, but you know, that's besides the point. So, that's just my little point for tonight, guys. You know, take care of yourselves. Like I say, look out, try and do what you can for people. Do something, just one thing a day, do you know what I mean, to make someone's life a little bit different, no matter what it might be. So, look after yourselves, take care, and speak to you later.